What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is A Call to Spy. Now, this one comes from IFC. It is directed by Linda Dean Pilcher, and in the beginning of World War II, with Britain becoming desperate, Churchill orders his new spy agency, SOE, to recruit and train women as spies. That is your plot, pretty straightforward, and it runs at 2 hours and 3 minutes. You know, going into this, with IFC stuff nowadays, I kind of just like to go in blind because they have so much content under their brand name that I just love like what they do, because every single film that they release is different from the previous one. And I like that. And so you never know what you're going to get. It could be something great or even moderately good to where you wouldn't mind watching it again. And then they have stuff that I just want to burn out my eyeballs, toss my computer out of my room, and never speak of it again. So you just never know. But with this one being a World War II film, or at least World War II as the backdrop, with stories and people or characters based on real life people that I've never heard of, I was excited to explore the story. So I saw it, and I'm kind of on the fence with my grade, and both of them are honestly not bad grades, but there's really nothing bad about it, and there's really nothing like grand about it where like I remember that movie and it struck a note with me and I really want to watch it again. You know, IFC has been responsible for a lot of World War II backdrop movies this year. You know, they had Resistance with Jesse Eisenberg. They had Summerland with Gemma Arterton. I like both of those. And so it was just kind of weird to me that this one didn't really strike as much. It's not, like I said, it's not bad, and I'm going to give it a favorable grade, but it just didn't really strike that emotional resonance as the other ones, even though this one did have some good stuff in it. So let's jump to Lydia Dean Pilcher, the director here. And for just an obvious note for these types of movies, the production design is great. The costumes are wonderful. The towns really feel like they're lively in the 40s, and like you feel like you are transported in that time. These films are a given with production design. You would really have to botch it to make it not look like World War II era. But it's all really great, and it really just pleases the eye when you're watching these types of stories. It really puts you into the story even more, and it's just more of an atmospheric thing. Good stuff. So while this film doesn't really break any new ground when it comes to these types of stories, what I do appreciate is these movies coming out, because these stories and these people and just everything that goes on within these movies are based on real life events and real life people. And when I was watching this, I was like, wow, this was really cool. I don't remember reading this in history books. And so I'm glad that these movies come out, whether I like them or not, because they open your eyes up and they let you have another pocket of knowledge with this war and, this thing that was going on in the background. And that's kind of cool to me. It just kind of opens up the horizons for more stories to tell and, more people that need that kind of, acclamation, since a lot of them were heroes and a lot of them don't get talked about in books and everything. It's really nice to have movies like these to showcase them, because they are real life heroes. So I appreciate that no matter what. And like I said, while this isn't like anything new in this genre, what I like about Pilcher's direction is that she showcases a lot of different spies and a lot of just their individual paths and their journeys throughout the story. How some of them have doubts, how some of them don't even make it, and some of them get caught, how some of them barely escape by. And so we kind of see that kind of contrast throughout the entire movie with 3 women in particular, all going through 3 different struggles with their missions. And it was really nice to kind of bounce back and forth and have that balance to see every single one of them, have their failings and kind of rise up and, fight against everything and really just kind of push forward. And a lot of people didn't really take them seriously because they were women, but they were strong characters that just kind of drove through the story. Even if some of them, didn't make it, the admiration of watching these characters that were based on real life people, it just kind of puts you in awe that anyone would want to go through spy training and do this for their country, but it's because they love their country. And you can see that that love in their eyes for what they do, and they know that it's dangerous. They know that a lot of obstacles are going to be in their way, but they all three fight through it, and they all overcome their adversities. Even if some of them, it doesn't end well, you have to sit there and just appreciate, what they did for their country. But that's what I like about Pilcher's direction the most, is that, like I said, we see the contrast between all three of them. It's a nice balance between all three. One doesn't overshadow the other, even though, like, Sarah Megan Thomas is the main character. She is still put off to the side a little bit so other characters can have time on screen. And it's a nice balancing act. I really do appreciate that. And as a spy film, it is also a given, unless you truly, truly botch it, the pacing should be pretty top-notch. For it being a 2-hour-long movie, I gotta give Pilcher and the editor credit on this, where it doesn't feel like 2 hours. It was a very brisk watch. I'm always intrigued with this stuff because spy stuff is just fascinating to me. Every single time when one of these women would go into another situation where they have to like trick people or be in disguise, the tension is always there. You always feel your heart racing because you want them to make it out alive. You want them to succeed in their mission, but you're sitting there just nervous whether they're going to complete it or not. And so, yeah, I think she really highlights, like I said, the dangers of being a spy, and the tension is nice and there in the film. And, it's a brisk watch. It's a short runtime. So also we'll give Pilcher and the editor credit on that. The performances are also fantastic. I really do like all three of these women that we follow. Sarah Megan Thomas is actually the writer and producer on this film as well. Now, it's not like the best script I've ever seen or anything or heard. It gets the job done, but I was more fascinated with the performances and just how they were carried from scene to scene, because I do really think that Sarah Megan Thomas is really wonderful in the film. Was someone who has always been rejected to become a diplomat, joined this kind of like rogue agency to do her thing, to prove to herself and to others that she can be strong and, be a great representation for the country that she's fighting for. It was wonderful. There was a lot of scenes where we got to see a lot of vulnerability with her character. It made us as an audience member kind of like love her more. And so, yeah, I think that's a really well-rounded performance, and she's a great lead. Now, the two other women that I really loved following, Stana Katic, she kind of plays the head of this rogue agency, and she's the one that actually recruits Sarah Megan Thomas's character. And she's also got her certain struggles that she's got to go through, because a lot of people don't take her seriously because she's a woman and in power. And so she's turned down a lot from the guys, on the other side and all that, everything. So she's always fighting that head to head, and she's so strong-willed, and like she just keeps pushing forward no matter how many times she gets pushed back. And it was a great character to follow as well. Now, unfortunately, without spoiling anything, the one that may or may not have a tragic end to her story, Radhika Apte, I probably mispronounced that, but we're going with it. She plays the other spy that we follow, and she is definitely a character that is super nervous doing this, but like she knows that she wants to do it. But every single time when she's doing one of her missions, like you can definitely see the fear and the terror in her eyes. And she was always scared, but she always knew like what to do. So I kind of liked how we got to see kind of the emotional wall break a little bit, because I feel like this is how we would be if a lot of us were spies. Like we would be nervous, we would be terrified quite frequently, and it would mess with our heads, and it would mess with the mission details and everything. But I think she is us. She is definitely like the window to the audience and how most people would probably react to it, but it's still amazing to know like what she did. And I think it was the first like Muslim hero that has been documented. I think that's what the end credit said. But especially like during World War II, a huge hero that she was. Her end was tragic, but I think most of these spies knew that going in, that if you get caught, you're not supposed to spill the beans. You're supposed to just carry on, and you're supposed to hide all secrets at all costs. And I think she did that. And And for that reason, she is definitely a hero amongst all these people that were trained to be spies in this film. But all three of them, all different characters, well balanced, and we got to follow all of them. But I think the performances are really grounded, and they really like shine through the movie. And I think that's why I'm going to bump it up to the grade I'm going to give it. Like I said, is it anything that's like amazing in the World War II kind of like film genre? Not really, but if you are looking for a film like this and you don't know anything about this story and you like World War II films, I would suggest it. It's like I said, it's a nice little watch. I'll give it a B-. You know, I was kind of struggling on the B-, like C+ type of fence, but I would reserve a C+ for if like it literally just didn't try and it was just kind of like going through the motions. Like I said, it's a well-executed script. It's a well-executed story, but it's not really like anything, you know, that blows my mind about the spy genre or whatever. You know, it is what it is. But I did like what I saw for sure. So, but I'll, you know, even with the reservations, I'll give it a B-. So if this is something that interests you, please check it out. It hits VOD this Friday, October 2nd. If you want to check it out. Yeah, so let me know down below what you thought of A Call to Spy, whether you loved it, whether you hated it. Let me know all that down below. But that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get up-to-dates whenever I review anything. And if you're listening to this on the podcast forum, you know, Real Man Colon Movie podcast feed, you can subscribe to that as well. If you are more of a podcast person, you're discovering me on YouTube for the first time, I do these in audio form as well, so go check it out. But yes, let me know what you thought of the movie down below. That will do it for this review. I am Chase Lee for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.